we are going to start with a new chapter, chemical coordination and integration. Now, when we are talking of chemical coordination and integration, here we are talking of the various methods by which an organism is able to bring about coordinated movement or coordinated activities of the body. The neural system we have studied in the previous chapters, that neural system is capable of responding to the stimulus. So when a neural system or the nerves are exposed to stimulus, they respond in a particular, the organism respond in a particular manner. Now, this entire activity, that is from the stimulus to the nervous system and to the response, is a very fast mechanism. This system is very, very fast. But sometimes or certain times, the, the body functions require activity which needs to be performed at a later stage, the functions. So this kind of coordination, that is the response of the cells at the later stage, is provided with the help of hormones. So the hormones and the endocrine, that is the endocrine system, we call this system, the organs that produce the hormones are known as endocrine glands, and the endocrine system along with the neural system provides a complete coordinated activity. Now, the circadian rhythms means the activities, the daily activities of the body of an organism, especially we are talking of the mammals. So these are different physiological and behavioral patterns of activity of an organism, circadian rhythms. So these are found in most of the vertebrates, and especially we find them in mammals. Now this is controlled by the two systems, which is the endocrine system and the neural system. Both of these two systems, they interact and they are closely associated with each other, and as a result a great communication is between them. Now how does this happen? The nervous system transmits its message with the help of electrochemical impulse. We know it very well that the nervous system generates the electrochemical impulses, impulses which travel quickly to the muscles and the various glands to bring about the desired activity. While the endocrine system, they send chemical messengers, and these chemical messengers are known as hormones. And this is by electrochemical impulses. The two differ in their working, but they are totally in communication with each other, and they also integrate, and finally a well coordinated activity is shown. Now the term hormones actually means the non-nutrient chemicals that act as intercellular messengers and are produced in trace amounts. So when we talk of hormones, they are non-nutrient. That means they are not utilized as a nutrient. These are chemical substances which are utilized for other functions, and that function is they act as intercellular messengers. So they are non-nutrient, act as intercellular messengers, and are produced in trace amounts, that is very less quantity. So if we wish or if we define the hormones are non-nutrient chemicals which act as intercellular messengers and are produced in trace amounts. Now, the term hormone was given by Bayliss and E.H. Starling. So, the two scientists, that is the Bayliss and Starling, gave the term hormones. So hormones are very, very important. If we try and understand the functions of the hormone, they help in maintaining the uh, constant environment within the body. So they help in maintaining constant environment in the body. That is, they help in adjusting the amount of the salt and sugar. Also, the salt in our sweat, depending upon the kind of environment we have or the surrounding particular conditions, the amount of the salt within the sweat is also regulated by the hormones. So the hormones are actually maintaining a constant environment within the body. Also, they cause long term change. So the second important function, which is, or we can say, they help, the important function which we had, cause long term effect. For example, the growth. Growth is a long term effect which is brought about by the hormones. The sexual maturation, also the rhythmic cycles like menstrual cycle and all, that is all regulated by the hormones. Also, they help in coping up with a specific situation like the panic situation. We know adrenaline. So there are various hormones help in dealing with stressful situation. So the hormones are seen to do lot of functions or perform lot of functions so as to bring about the proper functioning of the body. Now, if we talk of the differences between the hormones or the endocrine coordination and the nervous coordination, there are specific roles of both. Now, when we compare it, we find that nervous system, in this case over here, the nervous system is having the origin of stimulus over here in the case of nervous system is uh, the sensory receptor that actually catches the stimulus, whereas the endocrine is the site of coordination is gland, whereas in this neural it is the sense receptor. The nature of the stimulus, when we talk, it is the nervous impulse, whereas in the case of endocrine coordination it is the hormone. Mode of transmission, it is electrochemical impulse, whereas it is through the hormones again. Then the speed of the transmission, when we talk, the neural system is quite quick to respond, whereas the endocrine system is usually slow. The stimulus that and when we talk of the destination or the point at which the stimulus is there, it is to a specific point because the nervous system acts or as a specific point, whereas the hormones, they act at, or they affect a large area, or we can say they affect almost entire body. Now, the if receptor of the nervous system is the effector, that is, the it can be either muscle or it can be gland, whereas for the endocrine coordination it is the target organ, that is the specific organ where that particular hormone will act. And the response, the duration, that means the nervous system will show a quick response, and the endocrine coordination usually is very slow and it takes longer time. So when we compare the hormonal system and the nervous system, we find that both the systems, this is fast, this is slow, this acts on a specific muscle or a gland, this acts and almost they affect the large area, short term, long term. So these all features of both the systems help in proper functioning of the organism. Now, the glands, endocrine glands, are further classified as exocrine glands and endocrine glands. So these glands, actually the exocrine glands, secrete their products into ducts or channels. We know it very well that the endocrine glands are further classified as exocrine glands and endocrine glands. Now, the exocrine glands pour their secretions into ducts. So, pour secretions into ducts. Whereas endocrine produce the secretions directly into the, they release their secretions directly into the bloodstream. So there are no ducts over there. A common example for the exocrine gland is the salivary gland. The salivary gland has the channels or the ducts through which the saliva is released outside. Sweat glands are the other example of the exocrine glands. Endocrine glands are ductless glands, obviously, and example is pituitary gland, thyroid gland. All these glands are example of endocrine glands. Now, in the subsequent videos, we'll be understanding the role of various kinds of glands in bringing about the human or activity or the circadian rhythm.